What happens when a seemingly simple crime spirals into a national headline that shocks the nation? Welcome to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. I'm your host, Sean Dupree, and today we're diving deep into a case that left investigators baffled and a community shaken to its core. Our story begins in the seemingly tranquil town of Millbrook, where life moved at a leisurely pace and everyone knew their neighbors. That is, until the day Sarah Thornton, the beloved mayor and pillar of the community, vanished without a trace. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through the town, turning their peaceful existence upside down. As days turned into weeks with no sign of Sarah, whispers of foul play began to circulate. What dark secrets could be lurking beneath Millbrook's idyllic surface? And how could someone so well-known simply vanish into thin air? As days turned into weeks, the police found themselves at a dead end. Every lead they pursued seemed to evaporate into thin air. The community grew restless, demanding answers that law enforcement simply didn't have. But just as hope began to fade, an unexpected breakthrough emerged. A jogger, out for their morning run, stumbled upon a discarded item that would change everything. This discovery sent shockwaves through the investigation team. What was this mysterious object, and how would it unravel the web of secrecy surrounding the disappearance? The answers to these questions would prove more startling than anyone could have imagined. As detectives pored over this new evidence, they realized they were on the brink of uncovering a truth that would shake the town to its core. But little did they know, this was only the beginning of a series of revelations that would leave everyone questioning who they could really trust. As the investigation dragged on, frustration mounted. But then, a breakthrough came from the most unlikely source. A routine traffic stop on the outskirts of town led to the discovery of crucial evidence hidden in plain sight. The pieces of the puzzle suddenly fell into place, revealing a shocking truth that no one saw coming. It turned out that the culprit wasn't an outsider or a hardened criminal. It was someone the victim knew and trusted implicitly. The detectives were stunned when they realized that the prominent figure's own business partner was behind the disappearance. This wasn't just a crime of opportunity. It was a carefully orchestrated plan born out of greed and betrayal. The motive? A massive insurance payout and control of their shared empire. What started as a missing person case had unraveled into a web of deceit, forged documents, and a chilling plot that had been in motion for months. As investigators connected the final dots, they uncovered a trail of evidence that painted a picture of cold, calculated malice. The quiet town would never be the same again. After months of intense investigation and courtroom drama, justice was finally served. The unexpected suspect, revealed to be a trusted member of the community, was found guilty on all charges. The verdict brought a sense of closure to the victim's family and the town at large. However, the ripple effects of this case continue to be felt. The community, once known for its tight-knit nature, now grapples with a newfound sense of suspicion and unease. Neighbors who once left their doors unlocked now install security systems. The local police force has undergone significant reforms, implementing new training programs and protocols to prevent similar oversights in the future. While the perpetrator is behind bars, the case has left an indelible mark on the town's psyche. It serves as a stark reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. The healing process has begun, but for many, things will never be quite the same. Now, let's dive into a pressing issue that this case brings to light: the glaring racial disparity in our justice system, particularly when it comes to bail decisions. We need to talk about two high-profile cases that have recently made headlines: Sean "Diddy" Combs and Mike Jeffries. Diddy, a black music mogul, was denied bail despite offering a staggering $50 million. On the other hand, Mike Jeffries, the former CEO of Abercrombie & Fitch, who is white, was granted bail at $10 million for charges of international sex trafficking. Let that sink in for a moment. A black man, despite offering 5 times the amount, remains behind bars, while a white man accused of exploiting young men across multiple countries is allowed to prepare his defense from the comfort of his home. This stark contrast forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. Is justice truly blind, or does the color of one's skin still play a significant role in how the law is applied? It's crucial to note that both men face serious allegations. Yet the disparity in their treatment is impossible to ignore. This isn't just about wealth. If it were, Diddy's $50 million offer would have secured his release. No, this speaks to a deeper, more systemic issue of racial bias in our legal system. We have to ask ourselves, would the outcome have been different if the races were reversed? Would Jeffries have been denied bail if he were black? Would Diddy have walked free if he were white? These cases spotlight a troubling pattern where black defendants, regardless of their status or resources, often face harsher treatment within the justice system. It's a stark reminder that even in 2024, we're still grappling with the long-standing effects of systemic racism in our legal proceedings. This disparity doesn't just affect the individuals involved. It erodes public trust in the justice system and perpetuates the cycle of inequality that has plagued our society for far too long. It sends a chilling message to young black men that no matter how successful they become, they may never truly escape the biases that have long haunted their communities. Let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. This isn't an isolated incident. The justice system has a long history of treating black men differently, regardless of their wealth or status. We've seen this pattern play out time and time again. Think about Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Both white men, both accused of heinous crimes. Weinstein was initially granted bail despite facing serious charges of sexual assault. Epstein, even after being convicted, managed to secure a sweetheart deal that allowed him to leave jail for work release. Now, contrast that with cases involving black men in the entertainment industry. R. Kelly was denied bail multiple times, despite his legal team arguing he wasn't a flight risk. Bill Cosby, once America's favorite TV dad, was denied bail pending his appeal. It's a stark difference, isn't it? When we see white men of means facing serious charges, they often manage to secure bail or favorable treatment. But when it's a black man, even with significant resources at their disposal, the outcome is frequently much harsher. This disparity raises serious questions about the fairness of our legal system. Are we really operating under the principle of innocent until proven guilty for everyone? Or does the color of your skin still play a determining role in how you're treated by the courts? It's not just about individual cases. This is about a systemic issue that permeates our entire justice system. From arrests to sentencing, studies have consistently shown that black men face harsher treatment at every stage of the legal process. We have to ask ourselves, in a country that prides itself on equality under the law, how can we justify this glaring disparity? And more importantly, what are we going to do about it? Now, I have to ask you all, what are we going to do about this? This isn't just a story we can shake our heads at and move on. This disparity in our justice system demands action. Think about it. What does it mean for America when the color of your skin can determine whether you walk free or sit behind bars? How can we call ourselves a nation of equal justice when money talks louder for some than others? We need to have uncomfortable conversations. We need to question our institutions. Why is it that in 2024 we're still seeing such blatant inequality? What message does this send to young black Americans about their place in society? It's time for change, and that change starts with us. Educate yourself on these issues. Speak up when you see injustice. Support organizations fighting for equality in our legal system. Vote for leaders who prioritize judicial reform. But most importantly, keep this conversation going. Share your thoughts, your experiences, your ideas for solutions. Because only by confronting this reality head-on can we hope to create a truly just America for all. We've journeyed through a shocking case that started in a quiet town and ended with unexpected revelations. But more importantly, we've uncovered a deeply troubling issue in our justice system: the stark racial disparity in bail decisions. This isn't just about Diddy or Jeffries, it's about the very foundations of justice in America. What are your thoughts on this? Share them in the comments or on social media. And don't forget to subscribe for more eye-opening stories that challenge our understanding of crime and justice. Hey listeners, welcome back to the Real Crime Diary. I'm your host, Sean Dupree. If you tuned in last time, we had a deep dive into the disturbing history of power abuse across different eras, looking at the connection between dominance, control, and how it plays out even today. We touched on scandals from the past and compared them with some modern-day examples, showing how these patterns of abuse, unfortunately, persist. One of the most insightful tools we've explored to understand this is my book, Power, Pleasure, and Pain: A Study of Abuse Through Time. It's not just a historical account, but an interdisciplinary approach to understanding why this keeps happening. We draw from history, philosophy, and modern case studies to explain how figures like Dominique Pellico, Harvey Weinstein, and others have exploited their positions of power for their own gain, often protected by the very systems meant to stop them. Recap of last interaction. In our last live stream, we discussed how libertinism, philosophically introduced by figures like Marquis de Sade, has shaped the way power and pleasure have been entangled throughout history. This concept ties directly into how figures like Weinstein operated, as we saw parallels between de Sade's fictional characters and the way powerful men manipulated their victims in real life. You guys had some amazing comments, asking how societal structures have allowed these behaviors to go unchecked for so long. It's a crucial question, and one that the book addresses deeply. Why this book is valuable. Now, what's powerful about Power, Pleasure, and Pain is its ability to break down these historical patterns and link them to the present. You're not just reading about ancient Rome or Enlightenment philosophy, you're seeing how these ideologies are alive today. The book uncovers how sexual violence and control have been systematically woven into the fabric of societies from ancient times right up to the modern era. It's about understanding not just the individual predators, but the systems that protect them, whether it's in royal courts, religious institutions, or today's corporate and entertainment worlds. Through these historical lenses, we also explore movements like #MeToo that are beginning to dismantle these structures. The fight for justice is far from over, but as the book demonstrates, we are in the midst of a cultural shift where legal reforms are finally addressing these long-standing issues. It's more than a history lesson. It's a guide to understanding and supporting change today. What's next? If you want to dive deeper, I suggest picking up Power, Pleasure, and Pain, a study of abuse through time. It's available now, and trust me, it will change the way you think about power, pleasure, and control. We've even got some exclusive content coming up on the channel where we'll be exploring the book's case studies in even more detail, so stay tuned for that. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to The Real Crime Diary so you don't miss any updates. Let's keep this conversation going, because understanding the past is key to changing the future.